Well, I did it. I bought a new machine for DJing. This is an Alienware M16 R2 gaming laptop. Nobody told me to buy this for DJing. Nobody recommended it for DJing, but this is how I went about it. I looked at all of the new DJ programs out there. I use VDJ, but there's Serato, there's Rekordbox. And I looked to see what they liked, what they didn't like, what the requirements were, and then I went out to find a machine that met those requirements. Before we go any further, real quick, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brian. I've been a DJ here on YouTube doing videos for DJs since 2007. I got a lot of ideas. They're not all good ones. And you can take anything I say or leave it. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm only trying to help and share what I do. I'd appreciate a like if you could. That would be cool, or a comment or whatever. I'd appreciate that a lot. But, thanks for tuning in. And if you like what you see, maybe you might want to consider subscribing as well. I'm saying this before the furnace kicks in because all of my videos are pretty punk. I don't do pretty polished videos like a lot of YouTubers out there do. I'm just not that dude. I turn the camera on and share when I can. My family lives here. I'm a busy guy. And yeah, this is the prettiest video you're ever going to see, or the most scripted video you're ever going to see, but it's free and I'm trying to help. What I found in my research is that laptops are essentially a collection of parts. There are only so many parts manufacturers out there. The low budget stuff has the budget parts in it, and the better stuff has the better parts in it. So I went with a machine that seemed to have the better parts in it and met the requirements and exceeded them as well. I looked at a lot of reviews on this, and there were some helpful reviews out there, but all of them were dealing with gaming because that's what this laptop is built for, gaming. I'm not a gamer. I'm never going to play Call of Duty on this thing. I'm never going to use it in a coffee shop, in silent mode, in power saver mode with the battery. I'm going to be plugging this thing in at gigs and DJing with it. And DJing, it seems, takes a lot less computer resources than something like Call of Duty would. So I think I'm good in that regard. I've got a machine that's more than I need. Some people wanted me to look at MacBooks. And, I looked. I had a look. Mac's not really my thing, but okay, I'm going to humor them. Let me have a look. This machine, similar specs, would have ran me about $4,100, and it still wouldn't have everything this machine has. It wouldn't be upgradable that I could do myself anyway. And I'd be locked into the whole Mac world, and that's not at all what I wanted. I've been using PCs since I started using computers, and I like them. I'm not a computer guy, but I kind of understand them. This is a gaming laptop, like I mentioned before, and the reason I went gaming is because they're built a lot more robust than a regular laptop. It's got a metal casing. This is my fourth gaming laptop. Everything I've had before this has been the Asus Republic of Gamers. I looked into those, and at the price points, or at any price point really, it still wasn't what I wanted. I've gone from a 17-inch screen to a 16-inch screen. That's my compromise. And I'm learning to live with it in my testing. But otherwise, it's fine. I'd mentioned the reviews before, the things that people were complaining about. And there was a lot of complaining. There was a British guy. Things were either awesome or they were awful. There was no middle ground with this guy. He complained about things like the touchpad. He thought it was too small. Well, I don't use a touchpad, I use a mouse, so that's not a problem. He complained about the hinges, how he could lift this with one finger, and he didn't like that because it meant the hinges weren't tight enough. Look, I'm a disabled guy. I can't hold this laptop down and lift with this hand very easily. So one finger lift is actually a bonus for me. By the way, this has good hinges on it. I think I'd break a hinge on a regular laptop, let alone a Mac, where these are good metal hinges. I like the build quality of it. So far, I'm pretty happy. Here are the specs. I didn't get the basic one. I stepped up a little bit. I'm going to read off the screen here. It's an Intel Core Ultra 9 185H processor. A lot of the stuff that I looked at said that it didn't like AMD. So we went with Intel. Windows 11 Pro, NVIDIA, however you say it, GameForce RTX 4060 graphics card, 32 gig of RAM, and 1 terabyte hard drive. I did upgrade and put a 4 terabyte hard drive in here in addition to it. There was an extra slot. There were a lot of things like that that they were complaining about. It was nitpicking, I felt. All the stuff that was hot buttons for me, it all seemed to work out. And, does it have any issues? So far, no. I've been bench testing it for the better part of 2 days now, and it seems to be fine. I'm going to continue to bench test it to make sure it's okay before I take it on the road, but I think it's good. You guys want to go ahead and have a closer look at it and see what else got? Let's do it. Came with a handle you could grab to bring it inside. That was nice. Something that I just want to show you. It came with just a little crush, just like Jennifer Page. On this side, I doubt that makes any difference. Out of here. Okay. So here goes nothing. Why don't I go ahead and turn this around so you can see what I see. I'll try to stand over there and do it somehow. So it opens from this side, it looks like. There we go. Oh, and there it is. The packaging is actually pretty cool. It's got a kind of a hard foam thing up here. And it's laid out real nice. Here's the laptop itself. What's in here? Okay, this is the power supply, power cord, and the big brick, power brick. It has this protective film all around it. If you haven't guessed already, and don't know a whole lot about computers. It's just not my jam, you know? Okay, so here it is. And one thing that some reviewers were complaining about was that they felt like that the hinges weren't very tight. But to me, that's a bonus. I'm one-handed. I'm thinking I can open the lid of this laptop pretty easy. This was, I was really excited to check out, so let's give it a try. Yes, that's what I was looking for. That's cool. Here on the side, you've got a micro SD slot, so you can pop a micro SD in there. That's nice. And there are 2 USB 3 ports. Back here, you've got 2 USB-C slots. I guess one of them is Thunderbolt, whatever the hell that means. You get your HDMI right here, and this is your little barrel for your DC power supply. Over here, this is to plug in your internet if you want to. And of course, you got a headphone jack. So let's open it up. And when I open it up with one finger, look at that. It actually powers up. I can fix it so it doesn't do that if I want to. Screen's lit up. Here's that touchpad I was telling you about. You know, another thing the British guy was complaining about, oh, that's loud, was the speakers on the thing. He didn't like the way they sounded. Hey, guess what? I'm a DJ. I'm running this through a controller or a mixing board's sound card. I don't care what this thing sounds like when I'm in a coffee shop. A couple of reviewers talked about how it gets hot or the fan's loud or whatever. Look, these are gaming computers. They're going to run a little warm, but they can run warm. The trick is to keep them cool. You know, if you're in an outdoor environment, DJing or whatever, you want to keep your laptop cool. It's got good fans in it, but you can go to this thing right here. It's the Alienware Command Center, and I think it is, let me find out the tab here. There's a performance tab that you can go to. That's not even the one I wanted. Settings, perhaps. And then we go to Global Preset. Now in Global Preset, it's got this thing where it wants to put it in this balanced mode, which means when you're not playing a game, it's not running full resources. This is supposed to be a battery saver thing for those who are gaming with it at Starbucks and don't want to disturb the other coffee drinkers. I'm not that dude. So you can change it from per game to system. That's what I've done here. And what that does is it puts this laptop in performance mode, which is what I've got selected here, all the time. And it gives your temperature and all that kind of fun stuff too. But in performance mode, yeah, the fan's going to run. It's going to run all the resources that it needs to stay cool, which is what we want it to do. We don't ever want it to be stealth quiet because we're never going to be sitting in this thing with a latte, I guess. Something else that's kind of fun. Let's say that it does get warm. It's on a hot day, whatever. And you need this thing to just cool off real fast. You can hit this F1 button and it puts it into this range mode. And what rage mode does, as you can hear, turns the fan on full blast. That'll cool your laptop off really fast. When I was transferring data from my solid state external drive to this internal 4 terabyte drive, it was running real fast and it felt like it got a little warm back here. It was always cool to touch here, but got a little warm back here. So I put it in this rage mode and it cooled it off real quick. Of course, we can turn that off. High performance mode disabled. We're just going back into regular performance mode. The fans are going to cool out. But yeah, so I think it's fine. I've been playing around with it for the better part of the day with my DDJ 800. And I've been having fun with the stems. With 32 gig of RAM, the stems are super smooth. So I'm not. But if I could find one thing to complain about on this machine, it would be the 16-inch screen. I'm used to a 17, and you think an inch isn't a big deal? Well, that's the top and the side, so it's 16-inch diagonal. I'd have an extra inch up here to go here and here with a 17, and I'm used to that. So I've had to change the screen resolution and blow the font up and all that to see the things that I want to see. Otherwise, I got to use glasses for like absolutely everything, and I'd rather not do that when I'm DJing. I think it's nice to be able to just see the screen, which I can right now without my glasses just fine. This is a little hard to see up here, but I can see this fine. I can see the waveforms just fine. That's kind of what counts. So, yeah, that's the only real complaint I have with it so far. I'm fine with the fan. The fan is keeping it cool. That's what I want it to do. It's in the performance mode. That's where I want to leave it. That's where it's going to stay with the setting that I did earlier. So as of right now, today, I'm happy with it. And if everything keeps going as it has with my testing, it's a keeper. I'm going to use it. I'm going to commit to it for at least the season, hoping I can do with this 16-inch screen, which is really my only complaint with it. Otherwise, I think it's good. I love the weight too, and I'm going to be able to use my jetpack backpacks with it. I could pack everything in there, including a laptop stand if I want to. It's going to be a lot lighter than what I was carrying around before. So that's it, guys. Should you buy it? I don't know. Make up your own mind. Look and see what programs you use and what the requirements are. Do some computer shopping and buy the right computer for the job. Use the right tool for the job. That's what I like to do. This is total overkill for what we're doing, but hey, we're going with it. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. I got to turn this camera off. I've been messing with shooting videos on this computer for the last 2 days. I'm kind of done with it. But if you have any questions, let me know. I will make more videos for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.